You know, I don't know if this is universal, but something my group loves to do is to give ourselves a group name, kind of like a band, something to be known by far and wide. It's like when bards sing of us, they sing of group name here. I always thought that was a really fun part of playing through a long campaign, especially when those names come from a memorable moment. So, TTRPG, D&D Players, what did you name your party and why? Leave it down in the comments below. So we're a group of non-humans, including a goblin, half-orc, 2 tieflings, a drow, and 1 NPC the group is escorting, who is some kind of homebrew race that we're still in the middle of trying to figure out what the hell he is. As a bit of a joke, the goblin, myself, started to introduce ourselves as the Monster Squad. Since we're all on the same level of monstrous races here, everyone else objected, but eventually the NPCs started to recognize us by name, and it got repurposed to mean that we're a group that fights monsters. We call ourselves the Company of the Owlbear. Why? No particular reason other than owlbears are pretty cool. We first came together fighting the cults of elemental evil in Princes of the Apocalypse. After, we took over the abandoned keep of the cult of the Crushing Wave, and we've been attracting retainers to the keep, making repairs and upgrades, you know. In subsequent campaigns, some of those original characters continue to play, but with players who roll new characters, we often have it be the case that they've heard of the Owlbears and come to offer their services and ask to join our company as we continue to protect the region and the wider world from menaces. They've more or less become folk heroes throughout the Sword Coast. Probably my favorite adventuring party name of all time is the one that I play in on the weekends currently. We call ourselves the Booze Traveler. We just decided to have a fun name for us with no particular connotations to our characters, outside of the fact that we all enjoy a good brew at the local lodges and taverns. Over the course of a few years, we went from Danger Incorporated to Danger Unlimited to Danger Preferred to the Blood Drinkers. Wait a minute, hold on. That's a far stretch. When some people left and some new people joined, of course, this is why it changed, all the way to Danger Blood Amalgamated. This is also when some old people came back, and I think the joke we finally ran out of steam at was the law offices of Danger, Danger, and Danger, where Danger is our middle name. Dun 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 dun! I ended up naming the group twice. The first time we ended up in a position to name the group, I suggested Team Blizzard. We all had something blue or cold related about us. White Dragonborn, who was an evocation wizard focusing on cold magic. Arcane Trickster's only offensive spell was Ray of Frost. And our mascot was my character's familiar, a snow owl named Blizzard. Well, the group liked it. Over time, our characters changed, mostly because they died horribly in an alternate realm inside a painting, leading to a demon-infested castle where unspeakable horrors were planning to invade our world and slaughter everyone. That's not a nice thing to say about your in-laws. Our new characters were a forest gnome wizard that spoke to animals and had an owl familiar, a turtle monk, and a kenku. My character was a furbolg druid that also spoke to animals and often summoned animals as well. So I suggested the name Safari, and it stuck. Our current group sorta, mostly to themselves, keep the name, although only the Kenku remains of that original lot. We now have another Kenku, an Aarakocra with a bird familiar, a human wizard with a bird familiar, and a talking cat. The wizard is being replaced soon with a tabaxi. Both the kitties are mine. Yay, kitties! We all love cats here. None of my groups have ever had a name that I can recall anyway. My newer groups have talked about it out of game in recent years, however. I honestly think it's due to online groups and games like Critical Role's Vox Machina, Mighty Nen, Acquisition Incorporated, oh I love them, Waffle Crew, all that sort of things, and that's how it became a thing. I am looking forward to my groups developing or coming up with a good name. Sure, it'll happen in the next few months with me running 3 campaigns and playing in 2. My group's name is the Sewercide Squad, because one of their first quests ever was to clear the sewer systems of a city from giant spiders. They almost died, then started complaining to the town master that it was a suicide mission. And then a little later, the town master asked them for the group's name. It's a dirty job, but someone's gotta do it. My group calls ourselves Buttalks. The second best in the West, baby. We tend to do a lot of jokes and overall stupid stuff in our campaign, so the first idea was Buttalks, but we later realized we say really stupid stuff a lot, so we renamed it to Buttalks, since everything we say is complete and utter crap. For example, we were tearing down camp one time, and I just remember saying something along the lines of, "If anyone needs to pee, I recommend they do it on the fire. I really don't want to waste our water." To which I was met with our party's dwarf responding, "I was planning to already. Wanna cross streams?" Note, my group has a really crude sense of humor, and that translated into our characters. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. The heroes of the Ordning. We finished Storm King's Thunder at relatively low levels, 8th I think, and wanted to keep playing the same characters, so we picked up Rage of Demons, cutting out the first half of that campaign. We've kept the name and it worked out pretty well as a segue into ROD because it was a way for our characters to be contacted to help with the occurrences in the Underdark because of their fame from Storm King's Thunder. The party I GM online are known as the Party of the Bright Spear, since they possess a minor artifact known as the Bright Spear. So far, they have only unlocked the first ability it possesses, the ability to shed light to 120 feet radius, and it functions as a +1 weapon. In my home game, the group are known as the Knights of Stormhammer. They cleared an old keep for the local king. One of the players was made a baronet, and he appointed his friends as knights. The keep was called Stormhammer Keep, so they're the Knights of Stormhammer. Simple and clean.
Is the way that you're making me feel tonight, and it's hard to let it go. That joke is for a very small slice of the audience, but to you three, you're welcome.
In the homebrew campaign that our group is currently playing, our party founded a frontier-based adventurers guild at the behest of Lord Nasher of Neverwinter. Our DM had us come up with a name and a crest. We ended up settling on Dawn of the Phoenix. We have some die-hard Harry Potter fans in our group, so that may have been a factor. Hufflepuff here. Boom! Now we explore and map out a homebrewed expanded region of Faerun on behalf of Neverwinter, kicking ass and generally making a bad name for ourselves. We are prisoners with jobs, since we are indebted to an NPC that keeps threatening us if we don't do the missions they want in the time limit imposed. You load 16 tongues, and what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. Yeah, baby. This name was something the GM thought of for us. Our group was called the Saints of Seana, or Saints of the Material Plane. We were made into the Saints specifically for the purpose of building a resistance or army to fight an evil queen possessing her direct descendants in the Plane of Ice. So we have no real say in it, but it wasn't a bad name, so no complaints really. We're currently Team Fortress, because our Warforged, the only character that everyone loves and gets along with, is named Fortress. There were several previous suggestions, but the wizard, myself, vetoed all of them on the basis that most of them were things like horsefuckers. The party refers to themselves as the heroes, but the entire law forces of Faerun refer to them as fugitive scum. The party in my game don't call themselves anything, but I call them a bunch of dumbasses. I'm a little perturbed, but the Time Phonicators came from the group traveling back in time to the early Viking Age from the era of World War I. This group managed to barely escape a tomb of 12 liches by following the instructions on the grave of a mortal who rose to godhood. However, by screwing it up slightly, they managed to get sent back in time, where they killed a dragon king, fought in the succession war of the human lands, crowned a queen, and in the end, 3 of them became gods. Basically, they screwed up 7,000 plus years of written history, and I had to rewrite it, and thus the name was born. Only after the death and godhood. The Grim legacy came from this same group with full new characters. They took this name at the beginning because everywhere they went, they left behind death, destruction, and it was generally worse than when they arrived. Thus the name they chose fit to how they played overall, and it has stuck to the current situation, where they managed to stop an invasion of zombie dwarves, take an ancient city that was ran by an adult red dragon through a wild magic teleportation spell, causing the entire city to be teleported randomly after a 24-hour spell casting time for something so big. Now, they run the city and have been put under siege by an empire that outnumbers them 6-1. People are dying left and right. The walls are barely holding on. And they have another army of Rakshasa, long story of pissing off a high-powered demon, and other demons on its way to attack them. While they are planning to kill each other for the crown of the city, they are the grim legacy of the world. Rejected Potential is the name of my secondary group, who were created because a few of the players from the first group couldn't keep a reliable work schedule, so they would sub in on occasion. Thus they became the Rejected Potential, since they weren't the main group and usually ended up cleaning up after the main group. For example, they are all level 5 and 6 and currently trying to stop the demonic army from invading the mainland and slaughtering thousands. All because they have friends in the villages that the main group lord over. Hey everyone, Brian Von VA checking in after the vid. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ring that little bell so you, yes you, can get notified whenever we post something or do something special. And down in the comments below, let us know what's your party name, your company name, your squad name, corporation name, guild name, anything. We want to know and tell us the story behind it. We love you all. See you next time. Toodaloo for now.